Breton Coach, and today I am in San Francisco taking a bunch of different types of public transportation, from the air train to the Bart to the bus system, to see how this city runs. But let's rewind first and start at the beginning. And first is the air train at SFO.
It was a very nice air train. I liked how mouthy it got because it was an automatic train similar to Copenhagen. A lot like Copenhagen, actually. But if you were holding the door open so everyone could get on, it would say, "You are delaying this train," and just got very mouthy, which I thought was very funny. Overall, easy train, pretty quick. Stops seem pretty close together as well, so a lot less complicated than I thought it would have been. I think we are trying to buy a Clipper transit card to get on the Bart train. Now we're just kind of waiting in line at the kiosks, and hopefully it'll be clear enough to buy what we need to. Hopefully it's like the CTA ones. Kiosk went pretty smoothly. The only issue was trying to figure out how much to actually put on the card. $3 convenience fee to actually print the card isn't bad, and spit it out at me with a decent amount on it so we can jump around a little bit. It seems to be a little bit more expensive than Chicago, just because Chicago, you can jump on the train $250 and go literally anywhere, while here it seemed per distance. So $250 versus like the 10 something that I'll have to pay to do our little trip today, which kind of annoying, but also get your bag, San Fran.
We are there, and we are traveling on the yellow line up to there.
So far so good for Bart and Coach on the Bart train. It doesn't smell like pee like the CTA. Seats seem pretty clean. Seems pretty easy to get on. Pretty quiet, especially for the airport stop, because the Blue Line can get very busy at O'Hare comparatively.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Gives you nice announcements that we just heard for the first
Now
time.
boarding at San Francisco International Airport. This is a yellow line train to Pittsburgh Bay Point.
Helpful, actual, like, recorded, clear things that hopefully all the trains have them. And it has a nice, like, map that's shows you everything that's coming up. It makes me wonder, since it hasn't started moving, that if this is more close to being the Metro in Chicago versus like a CTA. There was a guy that walked on, was about to sit directly behind me, saw I was filming, and then bolted to the other like train car that he like pried open and went through. Maybe filming has its perks.
And a lot of room for the seats. Floor looks relatively clean for the train, and it's not sticky. So for the chairs, decent amount of cushion. About as equal as a bus seat. Some nice lime green accents as well.
So we just started moving backwards, and for some reason that was not the direction I was expecting, considering it pulled in this way, but now we're headed the opposite. Maybe some sort of heads up would have been nice about that, because that's extremely confusing to how you get one station to the other, especially when you seemingly have to turn around for the train. And Bart Watch is like a crime reporting app that you can report crimes and incidences like to the authorities and to like Bart services, which I think it's very smart, but I question how many people are actually using it. Are those things being followed up on, and how can the CTA implement that immediately? Because that would be very beneficial, because I've seen some things on the CTA, and it's not even like late night, odd hours, like morning rush. I've seen some things. So Chicago, take notes.
I would say the Bart is just as loud as the CTA, but it's about the volume that I expected, and it's a part underground as well as on elevated tracks.
Something that I find very helpful, and I think just more cities should do it, is that the rotating sign that I showed you in a little bit ago actually is like rotating multiple languages. That's just so easy and convenient for more people to use. The announcements are not in other languages, just English, which I think the US is one of the few places that don't have a multiple languages. I understand it's a Thursday just afternoon, but there's almost no one on this train. Like, on this train, I think there's 4 of us, at least this train car, which seems very dead. Maybe it's just not as popular as the CTA, but also less people, less crime, or at least more cleanliness. So I would say it goes about the same speed as the CTA, especially when the CTA has longer stops. So it definitely is moving pretty quick.
The BART is a great way to see the city landscape with all the bright colors, even though it is a pretty gray day. I always appreciate it when a city has the train above ground because you can actually see and explore with getting to your destination. We soon hopped off the BART since we were at our stop. Figured out what exit to use, and we were off to explore.
Some final thoughts and tips about the BART. Bring headphones. It is very loud. I recommend that for the CTA as well. Get the card if that's either on your phone or just like a physical card. It just makes it so easy. I have a CTA Venture card on my phone. I would say cleanliness, quiet, not a lot of people, seemed fairly easy and straightforward for everything. I'd say it gets an A grade for me. Not an A plus, an A. I still don't know if there was actual conductors on the train or what was actually the deal, but definitely enjoyed it.
And later in the day, we also jumped on a Metro Railcar.
Interesting that they have what they call the Metro, which is what we're on now, which is almost like an automated shuttle, versus the BART, which is like an actual train.
And we checked out San Fran's bus system too.
Caught the bus. It was weirdly in the middle of the intersection, like literally in the road. There was the bus stops, but then it wasn't marked. Only the 40 and the 90 buses were, not the 150 that we needed. So we had to flag him down, run over, get in the bus, scan in. Now I think we're on this bus for a good minute. Glad we caught it though, otherwise we would have waited another 30 minutes. Still wouldn't have really known where the bus stop was. But we did it. On our way to Nevada now. Actually have to switch our buses in about 4 stops or so, just because it's a bus to a bus, to really get far enough north to get to go where we need to. But this is like a really nice bus. I'm kind of bummed that we're transferring off of it. Hopefully the next bus is just as nice, because this is probably the best one I've ever been on, seat-wise even, besides like an actual long-distance coach bus.
And you can see these seats are very well padded, and lots of room on the bus overall. But it was time to end our San Francisco transit journey and head out to Nevada.
But I would say getting the travel card, as it is helpful, it's just extremely unclear because there's 2, 3, 4 different train systems, which there's like the Metra, the BERT, the something else, which is confusing, but they all run on similar tracks. But then the rail cars are also the street cars, which are also on the tracks. But then there's 3 or 4 different types of buses that you can take. And instead of just taking your money and you're fine, you go from there, it deducts the entire distance, like the max amount of distance on that line. And when you tap off, it refunds you. So seeing that the first time and seeing, oh, I'm negative $7 now on my card, makes you panic a little bit. So I ended up throwing a couple extra bucks on my card, which was unneeded because I dinged back out and it gave me like $9 back. But not having that explained, it's a big learning curve. We had to dig on the website for a good 15 minutes on the bus to figure that out, which I don't think it should take that long to basically explain that everything's connected, just ding on and off.
This has been Brett in Coach reviewing a bunch of different transit options here in San Francisco. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time in Coach.